We envision today as a day of practice, but I wanted to have Halima and I just paint kind of a big picture of how we view this path and what these practices are about. As Halima shared last night, a quote from Murshid Sam, it may look like what we're doing is song and dance, and it is. But really we are about bringing peace into the world. And it's clear that peace comes into the world through ourselves, that first we have to make ourselves peaceful. That's not just an idea, it's not just an intention, but it becomes a practice. And at some deep level, the practice includes our learning what we call non-reactivity. Learning to be impartial towards the zings of life and whap, somebody hits us and whoa, you're up. And we're so full of reactivity, but all that reactivity is unnecessary. When our hearts are connected to our sense of divine purpose, when we are remembering what is the meaning of our life, we don't have to live in that world of reactivity. So we do practice to cultivate an attitude of peace, of being centered, of being grounded, of being clear. So then moments come along when we're challenged because something happens that's not according to plan. And at that moment we may realize we have a choice to be reactive and to do some sort of routine and automatic response, or we have a choice to be conscious, to be guided in that very moment by our highest inspiration. So all of the practices we do, the dances, and we're going to do some walks today, are all about training our inner life, paying attention to the inner life, giving honor to the cultivation of heart, the cultivation of presence, the cultivation of some kind of light and clarity in how we live. So those are the broad strokes. This room has a particular blessing in it. It has many blessings, really, this beautiful light pouring in. It also has built into it, I can feel, years of silence. There has been a lot of silence in this room, conscious silence. And this is a great resource for the inner life. And let's envision today that our great resources are silence and breath. That as we breathe, we create our life. So this is really a day of retreat. There'll be opportunities during lunch break and dinner break to connect and be social. But let's all use this day as a retreat day, a day of inner exploration. We need it. The world is too much with us. It's busy. We're all busy. We're full of activity. Taking a day of retreat is a treasure. It's a hidden treasure because it's from within that we are given all these gifts. Want to say something? Oh, hidden treasure.
I think I'd like to invite us to take a listen inside. So if you're not already comfortable, make yourself comfortable. Yes?
Speak up.
Okay. And come into the rhythm of your own breath. And take a deep, strong breath. And then take a soft, shallow breath. And then really relax your breath to come into your natural breath. And use this time to be present with whatever is arising for you, to just take note. Take a scan. See how your body feels. Any place that feels tight, bring your breath to that place. And just let your attention rest on the flow of your breath coming in and out. So you may have noticed that thoughts arose. And this process of non-reactivity is something we cultivate by knowing ourselves, by really observing our own process. Every single feeling and thought that we have has an impulse inside of us where it begins. So when we love someone, even though the circumstances may support us to have that feeling, the feeling is ours. And it's so interesting to me that sometimes we really love and sometimes we really don't. But it's all, the capacity, if you've ever loved, you know the capacity is in each of us. So to cultivate that means that, well, isn't it interesting that we depend on circumstances for that to come forth? So we want to cultivate a self-wisdom so that we're not so dependent on the circumstances to be able to generate those feelings for us. And that is really what is at the base of non-reactivity. Is that kind of learning about all the places that we get hooked on external circumstances and have a reaction that shuts us down in some way or opens us up. We want to become, we're on a path of self-mastery here. And the dances are a part of that path. Some of the practices we'll do today are in the underbelly. They're in the ingredients of the dances. So breath, rhythm, sound, devotion, prayer, connection. Those are a few of the things that crop up in my thoughts as to what are some of the ingredients. I'm sure there are others. Does anybody else have another ingredient? Joy.
Focus on the good.
Focusing on the positive, yeah. Sensation. Allowing. So. Connection. Right. Yeah.
Our lineage teachings include this phrase. We say it every time we start to do practice. The embodiment of the master, not the spirit of guidance, not the idea of the master, not the concept of mastery, the embodiment. So this is a encouragement that our practice is one we do in an embodied way. We move left foot, right foot. We are embodied in our practice. We want to bring consciousness into our awareness as it is lived in the body. So Murshid Sam brought into our lineage a number of very creative teachings, and Faranisa introduced this morning a little piece of the Sun Walk, and we're such in sync because it was our intention to introduce that here today, and we did through you, and it's part of a whole set of practices in which we can draw energy from the elements, from the planets, that we locate them within ourselves, and we develop mastery on what is needed moment by moment. This is a moment I need to be watery, I need fluid, and I've practiced my exploration of my inner fluid nature, and so I'm able to manifest what's needed moment by moment. We need such a great range of capacities to live our lives, and sometimes people say, well, I'm not like that, I only do this. Why limit ourselves? Why not be open to being channels of everything that's needed?
Murshid Sam taught advanced dance class, and the threshold to get in was that you had to master some of these walks, some of the walks. He said, nobody flunks my class because you will be good at least one of these. Some of them are more natural. We have certain places that we're more comfortable, and others we need to work on. And that's really what this path of mastery is about, is, finding, it's a language of self-discovery. And we were talking this morning about how important it is for our planet right now to, that we need to really wake up to the ecology of our own being in relation to the world that we live in, and to know that we're part of it, not separate from it. And, so this is part of that language of finding these currents and energies inside of ourselves so that we are positive here. Our friend Sadi says that when we wake up to the elements, we add our consciousness to them. So when we, appreciate the earth, when we walk on the earth in a way that feels the earth becomes more aware of itself through our awareness. So that's really what, what we are traveling together here is this. It's really lovely work to do, and makes me happy to be in such good company here.
And the company is a part of the work too, because we're moving out of the age of the celebration of individuality. The egotism of self-importance has gone to such heights in our civilization that it has been exposed as a failed model. and we're entering an era of collective awakening, collective understanding, that we move as a group. We are collectively responsible for our precious planet, for our species. We need each other. We need to move in community. We need to understand how much we affect each other. When I'm having a bad day, let me tell you, the people around me are having a bad day too. So I'm responsible not only for my own energy, but for the impact I have on everyone else. And this is true for all of us. And so the responsibility of mastering what is our inner life is an interdependent piece of work. And so we do these practices in community and in collective settings. They're contagious. So we're going to get up shortly and we'll do some very simple practices. The intention here is not to transmit information about the sun or about the moon, but it's to create a context in which we explore and discover within ourselves, within our own experience, parts of ourselves that become available as resources.
I want to, quite a while ago there was something called the Tibetan Resettlement Project, where a certain number of Tibetans in India were given permission to come here and settle. And it was done by lottery, and 500 Tibetans were given permission to come. So it was a very diverse group that came here. And warrior, Tonka painter, rock builder, accountant, housewife, very diverse group. The instruction they were given when they came was, shine your light. I mean, just, and that's, I feel like those are really our, we need everybody. This is not the time to
hide under a bushel.
Hide under a bushel. Least you think you're not worthy, that's your work, is to understand that is just, this stuff on the mirror that we need to clear off because you are completely worthy. We all are, so that this is the, we want to keep polishing the mirror. It's interesting to me that if someone says to you wonderful things, we kind of take it in, but if someone says something critical, we really go to town on it. And, it has an impact on us that just, cooks in us. And so those are the signposts of the places that we want to heal inside of ourselves so we can really, come into tune with our wisdom, intrinsic wisdom. And it's different. The way you shine your light is going to be different than the way you shine. Or, we have to kind of do it through who we are.